Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be. Stamp collecting is fun, so is coffee. Very nice. And I'm kicking the table, and I'm also going through some stamps. And last time we spoke, I believe that the video went up to 1960, though I do seem to remember these nuns. And are they monkeys? I'm not quite sure. Maybe they know. 1861 to 1961. So, as it finished 1960, we'll start at 1961, and we got a gymnast. I'm very happy to say that I've now completed putting out in order, with huge gaps, my DDR, German Democratische Republic, East Germany, stamps in order, not in order of year, not in order of issue. But it tidies it up slightly. I've also had to get an extra sheet to accommodate them all. Anyway, enough of nuns. Let's have a look through here. What's this? Here we've got the Rathaus Theatre. Oh, I can't really. My eyes are dim, I'm afraid. Fatberg, no. Anyway, there's 4 in my set. There are possibly more. If there are, let me know. I've got other albums upstairs in other boxes and other drawers which do have hopefully some East Germany stamps. Franz Liszt, 1961. Yes, I think we did deal with these, didn't we? Deep sea fishing. Yes, I think we left it there because I said that maybe East Germany was land bound. I don't know if it is, so maybe they would, I don't know, enter the sea area via another country. That's an interesting one. I wonder if it is actually so. 1961 SED Party, SED. So, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at the high command, really, of communism and Deutsche Demokratische Republik 20. That's the value of the stamp. 15 years, possibly 15 years since the end of the beginning, or the beginning, either the war or separation. But whatever it may be, they're getting together and celebrating that. Protected species. So we've got a weasel. And we've got some sort of beetle, the Lucanus cervus. Handsome brute, isn't he? Some good pincers there. Jealous. Here we've got Walter Erbrecht, who must have been a big old noise back then. So we got a nice little definitive set, probably. You know, we have the Queen, or we've got King Charles, or we've got, Queen Victoria, penny blacks, twopenny blues, penny reds, definitives, the kings and the queens. And of course they would have their own. Now, what have we got? Magdeburg there. Nice cancel there. Does there 65 cancel there? So I wonder if they were issued in 63 and then progressed, over the years. Maybe I'm sure I've got a lot mixed up here. Pierre de Coubertin. So, it sounds French. Is German. Now, what we've got to remember is a lot of France and Germany, the borders were interspersed. They were fluid. Sometimes they were French owned, sometimes they were German administered, sometimes they were, fought over. So there will be French named people living in German areas and German named people living in French areas. And he was obviously 1963. Looks like some sort of Olympic thing. 1863 to 1937. So died just before the war, but we've got the Olympic rings there. I don't know. Bad Heiss, Bartelshof. I've got Bart Heiss, it's Bartels. Oh, Leipzig. I think a lot of. I know Berlin was the capital of Germany, but Leipzig, I think, played a massive. It was the major town, I believe. In my opinion, just looking at stamps generally, a lot are coming from Leipzig, so I think that was the central hub of East Germany. Let me know if you know different. 1963. Nice, cancel that. 64 Winter Olympics. Now, East Germany, they didn't have much, but they pumped half of their half of what they did have. They pumped into sports hallas and sporting fests, and they had schools, they had centres of excellence. They also had drugs towards the end, but certainly they. Though they did share Germany in the early years of the Olympics post-war, they did eventually go their own way. So you had Germany, and then you had East Germany and West Germany separating for the Olympics. They acted as Germany, as one Germany, after separation, and then eventually the separation of the sports as well. So we got some nice winter sports. So this is the Winter Olympics by the look at skiing and jumping. Jumping off mountains. They deserve medals. 1964. Schlüter. Architect. Andreas Schlüter. Early. So he would have died in 1764. Yeah. Anyway, whatever they've got, they are promoting. A lot of these are propaganda sheets. I would expect them to be, really, because they are a very small country, 8 million, something like that. Not many. 15 years of the DOR. 15 years of DDR. So I'm going DOR. It's 15 years of the DDR. What am I like? And here we have another one on a piece, so that's been through the post. Now, quite often it's nice to pick up DDR and Mongolia and Poland and Hungary on a piece, because it does show that it's been through the postal postal system, the postal union. Excuse that moaning and groaning, that's my local neighbourhood ghost. And a lot of complaints, or some complaints, or maybe none, is that a lot of stamps, or most, not all, are used simply to supply collectors with stamps. But when you see one on a nice piece like this, you know it's been through the post. And then when you see another one next to it, well, at least you know this has been posted. Chances are this has been posted. Not 100% sure, but where there's one, there's two. Anyway, we carry on now. Butterfly, 1964 Butterfly. Time is going on. Excuse me. Yeah. 1965 World Peace. We all like that. So there may have been some sort of stuff going on in Helsinki, Finland, with regards to getting together Weltfriedenskongress. They love the Congress. People in authority love a Congress where they can all get together and Mr. Speaker and all this, stand up in the stadium and talk to people, and also to have 15 minutes of their own opinions. 1965. So there's some charity going on as well, or 5 pence of this. So that would be 15, that would be 25. 5 pence of these are going towards something. Bart Gesser. Bart Geyer, even. So not Bart Gesser, Bart Geyer. Looks like some sort of Vogel to me, a crow. Albert Schweitzer. Great thinker. Now what I've done here is I turned him to the side because when he was stood up he was blocking everything. 1966, anti-fascist solidarity. Now we had solidarity in Poland under Lech Walesa, and here we've got Helden des Antifascism, Freiheitskampfers. 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 Anyway, they're celebrating their break from the fascist dictatorship, which was Nazi Germany. Black Phantom Tetra, 1966, a fish. Again, when you see this as a cancel, you're getting to think this is cancelled to order, or they're just cancelling them. They're getting rid of them. And they're selling them on. Because people do want postally used. They want mint. Yes, I know that. We all know that. We all want a minter. But also people demand it goes through the post. So there's a journey on a plane or on a ship, for example. People collect air mail that has gone over a plane, or crashed air mail, or sunken mail in ships. These are, that's their bag. Possibly the worst of all worlds is cancel to order. You'd rather keep it mint. Let me know in the comments below. 1966, Mecklenburg. Oh, here we have a man in German garb, traditional wear, Mecklenburg. Probably a nice mountainous yodeling region of Eastern Germany. Does East Germany have all those mountains and all those hills are alive? I'm not sure. Austria does. Austria remained in the west. I wonder, Switzerland also remained in the west. Well, actually independent forever almost. It makes you wonder why, doesn't it? Are they more difficult? Is it simply to take over cities, the big major cities is the thing, not mountainous regions? Like Canada would be almost impossible to conquer. Congress, more congressing, so people gathering again together, celebrating democracy, party. Well, the Communist Party basically celebrating the 7th Congress of it. I suspect there's V11 7th. I don't know. Bouquet of flowers. So here we have some gentle art, a child's drawing maybe of flowers, and then we have a playing card. How about that? Deutsche Spielkarten, to the likes of you and me. Spielkarten. Wollen Sie Spielkarten? Vogelarten. So here we've got another Vogel, which Vogelarten. It's a bird of prey anyway. Thoroughbreds, so horses for courses. 1967 Peace Race. So there's a race for peace, international. Again, there's a lot of sporty themes through here. Walter Ulbricht, 75th anniversary. So he's well thought of, is Walter. 1968 Mexico Olympics. Running. They had some. East Germany at one time were topping the tables. Forget Russia. Well, you can't forget Russia, but Russia, East Germany, USA, obviously. Those were the big old names. Poland could be big in certain areas. Here we've got Mountain Farm Girl, so traditional dress again here. We're coming to the end of this page. 1968, we have children. Neue Meister. So here we've got children or young people on a beach enjoying sand. Neue Meister. I'm not sure what that pertains to. Leipzig Autumn Fair. Revolution, so they like a revolution. The Rote Jahre, the Rote Fahrer even, so the red way. 68 Fritz Heckert. Again, it's a propaganda. You know, these are proper propaganda pieces. What we've got to remember is that this country was a dictatorship. It was in lockdown. It was 50% of people were spying on the other 50%. And those 50% were actually spying, when it turned out, on the other 50%. For what aim? What are people like? What are the leaders like? What are they like? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, on that happy note, they are free now. Of course they're free. Democracy, freedom is a precious thing. It's not something you can go and buy at the supermarket. You die for it. You fight for it. You succumb to it. You succumb to dictatorships on the point of a gun. On that happy note, we'll leave it at 1968. We've had a lot to look at and we've had some interesting topics to talk about. Have a fantastic day. I'm going back to the cricket now, which is on the television, and the sun's trying to come out. It has been out. I've been sitting out, and I'll talk to you very, very soon, and I'll finish this coffee. Bye for now. Goodbye.